really excited to be with one of the gurus here in New Zealand. I know he's kind of like going, well, no, so part of this interview series is to talk to people who use video, but also are engaged in social media, and to have AMAR TRIVEDI here in Paradise. Where are we?
This is Hobsonville Point. This is beautiful Hobsonville Point. This is paradise. Yeah? So a little off, moments away, a world apart. That's where we are.
And here is really a walking, talking brochure for Hobsonville Point. Were you like a resident number one?
Not really resident, but I'm the brochure number one. I'm the ad and marketer number one for Hobsonville Point. And it's truly from belief. It's because we love this community. We enjoy living here. And it is a place that we've come to love this place because of the people around it. And the way it's designed, it's genuinely community friendly. And it's a great experience. We love living here. Very blessed, yeah, seriously.
Got it. Yes, I arrived on the ferry. I was the only passenger on the fullest ferry, and then I had the Fantasy Island fanfare arrival. Welcome to Hobsonville Point. What is it about community in terms of here, and how you relate to building a community in an online presence?
Oh, great question, man. So look, it's actually about using the tools to connect with people there, and that's why they'll come back to you. So content is your currency. What do you say? On social media or even offline, content is the only currency we have. How do you connect with people? And creating relevant content, or content that connects with your target audience, and that's where the marketing comms principles come in here. Then you start to create content for relevance, or whom are you speaking to? Who is your end customer audience? So let's focus on that, and you create content, generate content for them. Yeah? And once they start to believe that yes, this is a source of content I can trust, I can use, I can actually, it inspires me, it educates me, it informs me, and makes me aware of something I did not know, then it becomes habit forming, and I will come back to that source. Yeah. So that's how you build trust, and that is, trust and transparency are the two bedrocks of all marketing that comes today. Yeah.
And building trust, how long, let's go back a few years to where you came from, and you spent some time as a creative director in advertising agencies. Yes. What led you to social media marketing?
It's a natural progression. Look, the market has changed. The world has evolved. So let's begin. A good statement to make would be, we live in drastically and exciting, and we live in times that are of change. We live in crazily exciting times there. This is the time of change. This is evolution going on, and we are fortunate, we are really, really lucky to be alive and experience this fast evolving world around us. Yeah. And as a tech enthusiast, as a marketing comms person, as somebody who loves ideas and sees new technology come up, this space is unprecedented. We've never had this growth, and algorithms changing, and the way you work. So if you're comfortable with change, make friends with change. That's what they say. The first lesson in marketing is, don't be afraid of change. Disruption could be an opportunity. It will disrupt your business model. How you've been doing business for the last 50 years is not the same as going to be for the next 5 years.
Was it a learning curve for you to go from being a creative director to go to metrics? Because clearly you must have seen how that creative process starts. And then you wanted to jump into metrics and reports and analysis around whatever content that you were creating.
Well, look, if you begin life as a comms person, or as a content creator, as a creative director, then there's a lot of similarity that stays the same. Like they say, the principles never change. It's your end goals, or for campaigns, that's what changes here. So yes, you need a grounding. So if you're a content creator, video making helps, writing skills help, photography helps, illustration skills really help. Yeah.
There's so much to do.
There's so much to do, and this is all content creation. I mean, let's think about it. Even a tweet of not 140 anymore, 280 characters is content, and you need to craft it using hashtags or Instagram. Or let's fast forward to the right now. Yeah, Instagram stories. There's massive engagement on Instagram stories right now, and even Instagram it was not ready for the kind of uptake from the audience. So yes, Snapchat got there first, but Instagram stories and Facebook page day updates they're showing us how to share content and how to share our lives with our community.
So if there's, if there is so much to do in terms of engaging community, if you're kind of, you're looking at your marketing budget and you're looking at your social media planning, where do you start? What in your experience, what's a great place to do something well and to master that before moving on? Is there a particular area that you should focus on?
Yes, I'd say get your content calendar right first. Yeah. That's a great starting point. Yeah. Know exactly who you're targeting, whom are you talking to, also what is it that you're going to say over the next few weeks or months, and have a rough outline or a sketch. And in technical terms, it's called a content calendar. That is your master hymn sheet. Everyone sings off the same page. And once your team, be it geographically diverse team or be it just in the same table around the same, however, if you're singing off the same content calendar, then we all connected. We know exactly what we're doing, whom we're talking to, and what's going out on Monday, Tuesday, Friday, or next month. So once we have that big plan, around that there's flexibility. You can tweak and change and update it, but it's a lot of rinse and repeat. And the learnings that you get from one phase or campaign one or month one or week one, that you apply them back. That's extremely important here. So it's, go ahead.
How do you measure that effectiveness? Well, what sort of metrics should people look at? Because I'm clear we talk about instant gratification,
yes,
particularly for perhaps the younger generation. That we look at likes and comments, and if we don't see any traction, they often give up. What metrics would you apply to people just starting out in social media game?
Good question. So, in the broadest sense, sales is the only metric here. In the really broad, I mean, if you're creating content, let's be honest, it should have a result. Otherwise, why are you creating content? What is it? Is it resonating with the audience? And in micro terms, I'd say the metrics are, yes, is your community, do they like your content? Are they sharing your content? Are they engaging? And the essence of it is comments. How many people are engaging and giving back their voice on that? So if they like something, you engage with it. It's just an instant response. You don't even stop to think about, am I commenting on LinkedIn or am I commenting on Instagram or is it Facebook? It's channel agnostic. If you like something you see, you will engage and you jump right into it and say, hey, this is what I think about it, or this is how I think it should be. So controversial content or content that's inspirational or something like this, that's absolutely new, and either I agree or I don't disagree. But engagement is the key here, and that is the biggest metric. Yeah.
It hasn't really changed. Yes, sales is the ultimate metric,
Yes.
but it does depend on what your objective is, right? I mean, it's nothing new what we're doing, comparable to what we did in the 1980s. I know we don't remember those days, but it was about people engagement. It's like if you talk to someone, you generally got a result, and it's exactly the same online, right?
Absolutely, and that has not changed yet. Look, the business principles have not changed. We're still out there to sell a product, or we're still out there to make sure that we are better than the competitors. I mean, those things have not changed. We still want to be number one in the game. We still want to expand, grow the market. And yes, that has not changed, and I don't think it will change for the business game has remained the same. It's just that the rules have been changed and the tools have changed.
And it's almost there are no rules.
Pretty much, yes. So that's where the word disruption comes into place. So we used to have models and set formulas and set ways of doing things. That has gone away now. So now it's a bit of here's the ball, go play. And that with the ball and 11 team members, you still have to go that way, and that's where you score the goal. That's pretty clear to you. Now, how you're going to do that is totally up to you. There are no rules. You can just lob the ball straight, or you can pass it in, and you have your strategies in place. But like I said in the beginning, it's customer experience that is the ultimate end goal here.
David Blair would love this, customer experience, right? He's a passionate advocate for customer experience, and I guess there's a constant engagement with them to see what's working, whether that's survey monkey, etc., and then iterating your message to find that sweet spot.
Yep. I'll add to that. Yeah. Very often people stop to ask the customers what they want. So if you put something out there, in terms of customer experience, it doesn't stop. It's a cyclical process. You go back there and ask for feedback. What's stopping you from going out there and saying, okay, this is the event that we brought to you, or this is the content that we brought to you. What's your take on it? How can we improve? And it's your customers are your best R&D here. Your biggest improvement, your source of improvement comes, or your innovation source are your customers. And the ideas that you can get from them, the new way of doing the same old, is, I think your customers are the most intelligent people on planet Earth here, and you exist because of them. So if your customers were not there, you would not be in the game here. So it's everything begins with them. It's just what customer centric. That's your mantra. That's your true north here. You've got to be customer centric, and everything emerges and emanates from there. Yeah.
Where do you get your inspiration from?
Lovely question. My mother's name is inspiration. It truly is. Her name means inspiration. But that was a bit of a personal question. But in terms of work, it's who you become.
It can be personal. It can be personal because at the end of the day, if we are being authentic and being ourselves on video or on social media and engaging from self, then it doesn't need to come from a work space because people by people, right? We can be generalized and ask that question. Where do you personally get your inspiration from?
Thank you, John. That truly is. I am the product of inspiration. My mother's name means that. I said that. And once again, so yes, it's from creating good content. It makes me happy. Customer happiness there. But where I get my inspiration from is I kind of lost track of it anyway. But inspiration is something that not just my mom, but where would it be from, man? Hey.
Well, it's from a work perspective.
Yeah.
We can read magazines, we can read books, and I'm sure I don't know if you can see this one, the Social Media Bible. You've actually contributed to this thing.
All right.
How did it come to pass that you read this, and what did you get from it?
Okay, I'll tell you what. So it's taken me a few years in the industry. Okay, good. My inspiration comes from 5 keywords now. Yeah? I've boiled it down to 5 words here, and that is serve, solve, share, support, simplify.
One more time.
Serve, solve, share, support, simplify. That's who I am, and that's where my inspiration comes from. And if I can do any of these 5 things, then yes, I'm inspired, I'm focused, I'm engaged, and these 5 words have come to mean who I am today. And I do believe that. So yes, and no brainer. There's no points for guessing. Your inspiration comes from the feedback you get. You put in your hard effort, you put in your sincere best into everything you do, but you get re-inspired or you get motivated to go on when you get saying, "Hey, well done," or just feedback that says, "Hey, guess what? You did 4 things. Out of them, I like 2, but could you change and tweak the other 2?" So that's again a reason to re-engage and go back into it and get better at the game. So that's the cyclical process that I'm inspired by and truly, genuinely motivated to get better. And I don't think there's a bigger award in the world than customer happiness. That is the biggest accolade that you can work for or go towards. So your customers coming and writing you a recommendation or writing you a little note, a small thank you personal note saying, "Hey, thanks for doing that." It could be any industry, education, banking, retail, whatsoever, across the board. And that's what I live for.
So coming back to those metrics, it doesn't have to be sales. It can be an indirect engagement that could come from recommendations, reviews, because it's all engagement. But often, I think someone talked about that we shoot for goals indirectly, and we often, get this. We get a result, but it isn't the exact result. Money, status, power, whatever it might be, but you get things at different points of your career.
Yep. I'll tell you, man, you hit the nail on the head. I'll tell you something here. Business is human. Let's get that here. Let's get this, plant that right here. It's a flag post here. Around that, and your customer centricity, what are you trying to achieve eventually? So they say, yes, metrics, numbers are your metrics. You've got to have the numbers to grow, to go, even to get some profit back so you can keep the company running, so you can pay staff, you can keep the ball running. Yes, of course, those are the metrics that you must have. But I'm saying the bigger metrics is likability, scalability, sociability. Do people like your content enough to share it? Do they like it enough to come back and then say, "Hey," and recommend it? These are the bigger metrics. So, like you have now Facebook.
We only do business with people we like, trust, and people that bring us value. Thank you, Glenn Marvin.
There you go. Nice one. Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, the LVT. How could we forget? Thank you, Glenn Marvin. Nice one. Yes. So, absolutely. Those are the metrics we live for and we aim for. Yes, absolutely. So, this is it. And coming back to the business is human model here, whatever you do, I mean, you could do it with technology, but it's there to serve you and eventually to serve and make it. So, serve, solve, share, support. simplify. For whom? For your customers.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thinking about trends and what's happening in the next 2 years, let's say 2 years, 1 year, 2 years, 5-year plan for social media, where do you see the evolution of human inside of those social media channels?
Fantastic. This is easily one of my favorite questions here. So I'll tell you what, the marketing game as we know it has changed here. So what we used to do, so the game is pretty much game over for what was. This is the new era, and we are fortunate to be alive in these times here. These are times of change, these are times of revolution, and this is
best time to be alive. Really.
Absolutely, truly is. And if you're a tech enthusiast, if you love technology and ideas and media, it's never been a more exciting time to be alive. This is it. And why do I say that? Because look around you. I mean, it's the goals have always been the same, but our evolution has taken to a point where now there are shorter life cycles. So we used to have these 3-month plans or even 3-year plans, out the window. Today the life cycle is shorter, and I'm speaking purely from the customer point of view. So for the customer, there was a research phase, there was a discovery phase, there was a purchase phase, and then there was after sales. All that has just gone out the window. You're on your way home on the bus. You knew exactly what you want. You researched it on your phone. Before you even get off the bus, you've purchased it, and in the next 24 hours or 48 hours, it's going to arrive at your doorstep. So there was minimal effort, and this is the sales cycle. This is the sales purchase cycle that we used to draw diagrams on boards, and we used to study in college anymore. So you see what I'm saying? It's a very new world, and that's where the excitement comes from.
So almost you're saying is create your own future. When you talk about disruption, because there are no rules, and I was hearing Mike Wooten talking about, online just has so many opportunities about how we can evolve and grow. Write your own rules.
Write your own rules, own your piece here, own your niche. That's what it is here. Because within your niche, you're the king of your own niche, and that's where you write your own script. You write your own story here. Because within that circle that you create for it's actually truly. I'll give you an example. The best example I can say of this is Apple. They have created the whole ecosystem, and people live within the ecosystem. So be it any product now, if you're an Apple phone owner, you will need another Apple product to sync best with it and work best with it there. Sure. Likewise, the whole Android ecosystem. If you're within the Android ecosystem, you will have to buy or go in for another brand, yes, but you got to live within the Android ecosystem. So that's what, create your own. To drop a buzzword, it's create your own ecosystem, and within that write your own rules there, because these are bubbles within this big bubble there.
Sure.
That's what we're living
I
in.
think it's what you said. It's all about niche, and I think that's what's really important in terms of owning that and being that king of the castle. Where do you see video happening and fitting into the social media sphere or bubble?
It's such a huge piece of the pie. In fact, I'll tell you what, the content world is so cluttered, it's so noisy. So here's the question, how do you be signal when there's so much noise? And to stand apart from the rest. So video, just like this, can communicate so much in a nutshell. And look at the power of video. You can edit, you can caption, you can add graphics. So there's so many tools that work with video. So creating a good quality video is pure gold in terms of content marketing here. And now, if you were to create this into a series and say, okay, this is my topic, this is my field, this is what I'm going to be doing. So do it theme-wise, do it topic-wise, and create a video content series. What I've just given you is the base formula of Netflix or of any serial in the world. They have a topic, they have a theme, and that's what they're doing. So Netflix has grown because they create on a theme, they create episodic content in snack-sized bites that you can consume whenever you want, wherever you are. And this is the new world of content marketing. So why can't you, as a product marketer or as a brand marketer, own that, learn from the gurus and the number ones, the Netflix, the Amazon, the Microsofts of
They
the
all
world.
started somewhere with probably one guy. I think it was an image someone posted on social media about the image of Jeff Bezos working alone in a desk in the late 90s or something, and now he's doing pretty well.
Which is man in the world.
How
doing pretty
long,
well.
in terms of time frame, do you see I guess it comes down to the problem and the niche and the skills that you can deliver.
Yeah.
But have you got any case studies, or can you remember any examples of social media that's just flown, that's just gone whoosh inside of a very short period of time? Any inspiration or any ones that you've seen or you've followed that has just nailed it in a short term?
Oh yes, in fact, connecting back to your earlier question about new trends, and there's the thing about in social media and in marketing, there's a new trend coming every month here. There's a new trend train or a trend wagon that's arriving every month, every 1-2 months, and it keeps you on your toes. It's a good thing. I think it's a positive thing. It really keeps you on your guard. You got to be alert. You got to be watchful of what's changing. You never know what Facebook or Google, the search algorithm might change, and it might just SEO might just, like voice. The whole voice piece is going to change the whole SEO world all over again. It's when you can start talking to your devices. So this, to answer your question, what's really changed in a short time is, let's give you an example. Automation. How the whole automation piece has changed how we do marketing here. We spoke about that earlier. It's about if you have the ability to now program your entire month's content output
rather than doing individual posts. Well, we did talk earlier when I got off the ferry about using Sendable or Buffer or using Hootsuite. Because for me, yes, I push out lots of pieces of content on 7 channels, and I schedule it in pretty much an hour and a half for the entire week, rather than doing individual posts. It just makes, you talk about making things simpler.
There you go. So and go back to that. So is using technology to serve humanity. Coming right back to that, to simplify the whole process. So yes, content marketing, and how do you keep coming up with new content? Doesn't have to be your own, but even curate content that's relevant to your audience. How do you keep pumping it out there? How do you keep populating your pipelines and your feeds? That's the big challenge here. That's where automation comes in. And in a very short span of time, the market, the MarTech, as you call it, the marketing tech, the bubble, it's grown to, there's 7,500 companies. You just mentioned Hootsuite, Buffer, Sendable, there's
probably
Marketo.
40 others just like that.
No, there's 4,000 others. There's so many others who are doing this. There's Crowdfire. It doesn't matter. But I come back to this. It's not the tool that you're using. It's how you're using the tool. It's how well you're engaging with it. And no, see, it doesn't even matter. You don't have to have the latest version. It doesn't have to be the coolest or the most expensive tool anymore. You could be using version 1 when everyone's using version 4. But if you are really good at version 1 and you're getting the same response or the same engagement that the others may be struggling for, then you're way better or way ahead of them. So it's about your authenticity. It's about how you're coming across and the engagement, and what are you learning from them? What are you learning from? How much are you picking up and then reapplying back to your content? So if I'd say, if I was to share one big learning, is be on your toes and keep learning back and asking. Go back to your customer and ask them what they want and get smarter that way. That's the best way to get smarter and more intelligent.
You talk about being authentic and being yourself and being engaging. Does it help being mad? Because I might have seen a little bit of the coffee cup Mr. Madness and the t-shirt that's keeping madness alive.
All right.
What is that framing of madness? What does that mean to you?
Look, this is a big piece of this. I think the question is, how do you stand apart from the rest, right? Okay, there's so many marketers and there's so many, but as branding has come down to a market of one now, because automation can help you get down to individual now. So here's where I come in. I am Mr. Madness, and it helps me stand apart from the rest because it's something that's been tagged on me. At age 16, somebody actually wrote on my, this is the guy who keeps madness alive. And that slogan, keeping madness alive, has stuck with me from age 16. So it's who you are. Social media is not what you do, it's who you are. And that's what, you mentioned the biggest word in marketing, fun. If you're having fun with it, it's contagious, and your customers will see it, they get it. If you're enjoying creating your content, your end customer, they see it, they get it. And that's where the link happens here, that emotional connection. It's truly is about putting the social into social media.
Yeah.
It is actually who you are, and you're putting your personality out there. And the other word, trust and transparency. Social media has put a mirror to everybody in the world here. There's no more hiding. It's exactly what you are, will come across.
Exactly where you are, just like we're in paradise. What is your version of paradise? AMAR TRIVEDI, thank you so much for
Pleasure,
coming on the
man.
John Mabry Show, and we look forward to following your marvelous content in whichever channel that you live in.
I really enjoyed this, and I want to quickly add, John Mabry is the man who's creating video content, and this is exactly how it's done. Let me add this. Content marketing, they say give, and then you ask. Yeah, that's how it's done. You put out content that's relevant. Hopefully this has been useful for you. But what this man is doing, I'd say give him a call. If you want good quality video content, here's the man. Cheers.